So hey guys, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be discussing my top 10 bucket list roller coasters, and to help me with this list I have hired the help of Mr. Oakley Dokley.
Hello!
He's back. The last time you were on the channel was the end of season 2020 video, wasn't it?
Season 2020 video, Jesus Christ. 2020 seems so long ago.
Yeah, mate, so much has happened in that time. But like I said, we're going to be discussing my top 10 bucket list roller coasters today. If you do go on to like this video, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video. Without further ado, let's get straight on into it. So, in my number 10 spot, we have Expedition Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is a Vekoma mine train with a top speed of 53 miles per hour. I am really looking forward to getting on this one eventually, Joe. I mean, it's just because I've heard so many things about it. The facade is massive. I don't know if you know, KD explained it in his video actually, but they can't, they didn't want to build, above 200 foot because they would have had to put some sort of beacon light above it. So they had to keep the roller coaster below a certain height, but it looks higher than it actually is.
Yeah, it's also had the record for the most expensive coaster in the world, isn't it? Just before, Hagrid's Harry Potter and the magical beasts of motorbikes and sidecars adventure coaster.
Adventure Time coaster thing.
That one's now the record holder, but you know, that other one that you mentioned that I can't think of the name of because you just said it 2 minutes ago. That one used to have the record, yeah. Yeah,
this one, again, there's a lot of different factors for me that the reasons that I want to go on this coaster. It's mostly one I've been looking at since I really became an enthusiast. It's one of those that you sort of looked up on the internet and it was just there. So it's sort of one of those I've gravitated towards when thinking of roller coasters that I want to ride in the future.
Yeah, it's got a big Yeti as well. That's quite fun.
It has, but apparently the Yeti's been broken for years.
Same as me. I've been broken for years, don't worry.
So in my number 9 spot, we have Cheetah Hunt at Busch Garden, Tampa Bay. This is a Intamin Blitz coaster with 3 LSM launchers. I followed the construction of this roller coaster whilst it was being built, and ever since it's been one that I've been really excited to ride when I eventually get over there. I do realise since that roller coaster was built, there's been many different coasters that have been built at that park, like Iron Gwazi, and well, that was really a conversion. But there's many more to look forward to now, but Cheetah Hunt has always been one that's stuck on my list.
I'd like to agree. I'd get on Cheetah Hunt if I was at Busch Gardens. But fun fact, I've been to Busch Gardens, haven't I? I've got some creds at Busch Gardens. Yeah, we my cousins live over there, and they just one day decided, let's go to Busch Gardens, and I was too young to really get on anything. It's the first ever time I'd been on like an inverted coaster. There was one called, I think it was called Cobra, which was just like a standard arrow layout. That was my first ever inverted coaster. And then I actually got a rare cred, which is the original Gwazi. So
You got Gwazi?
I did get Gwazi, yeah. I rode the red side, I believe. There's like an orange and a purple side. I got the orangey red side, yeah.
You never told me you got Gwazi.
On my creds list.
Well, you kept that one quiet, that's all I'm going to say. But I love that little bit as Cheetah Hunt goes out of the first launch. It goes up into that like little bit where you like circle in like that little nesty bit, like that I like to call it. I really think that's an interesting element because you can like see across the park from that particular viewpoint.
Yeah, it's almost like a weird sort of sky figure eight. That's what we're going to call it. Sky figure eight.
I feel like it works really well though from what I've seen on POVs, and it's one that I am looking forward to getting on when we do eventually get out to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, because I'm sure, I say we because I'm sure Joe would definitely want to come with me. So at number 8 on my list, we have Steel Dragon 2000. This is located at Japan's Nagashima Sparland. It was the tallest roller coaster when it opened and still holds the world record for the world's longest roller coaster. A fun fact about this roller coaster, it cost $28 million to build, and that was partly because where the Steel Dragon 2000 roller coaster is located, they suffer from quite severe earthquakes. So to keep the roller coaster up during those earthquakes, they had to reinforce the steel and reinforce the structure. So that is why this roller coaster costs so much. But it's highly regarded among those who have actually got to ride this roller coaster. Also, an interesting fact about this roller coaster, it currently has B&M trains that's got replaced in 2013.
I think it's the only B&M trains that are like two per row, if you know what I mean. Like every other one has had obviously the standard sort of four per row. But yeah, 2x2. That's how you take it on Steel Dragon 2000.
And it's also the only roller coaster that B&M have offered their trains on that isn't a B&M coaster.
I don't know how I feel about it really, because it's the standard sort of, it looks rough. You just look at it and you go, it's got the same vibes as when you look at the big one. It's just, it looks a bit rough, that might hurt.
It's a giga, it's 318 feet, but what draws me to this is its appeal, and its renownedness around the world, if that makes sense, and its fame in a way. It's one of those that I feel like is on a lot of people's bucket lists.
I'd agree with that, but I wouldn't say it's worth the trip to Japan just for that coaster alone.
If I do ever get to go to Japan, it's definitely going to be one that I think I'm going to enjoy. Would it make it into my top 10? Probably not. I'd be disappointed if I did get on it. And like you said, it was rough. It didn't ride very well at all. But I don't feel like that's going to be the case. Again, for the people who have ridden it, it's been highly regarded. They've enjoyed it. So it's one of those to keep our eyes out on when we do get out there.
Definitely. Sounds good to me.
At number 7, we have the original Batman the Ride. This is where it all started for not just B&M, but the B&M inverted coaster. I really want to get out on this one. As you know, Nemesis is still my top coaster, and I really love a good inverted B&M roller coaster. So I want to get out there, see where it all began. I know compared to some B&M inverts that have opened recently, like Banshee, it really doesn't compare at all. But just getting on the original one and saying that I've been able to ride it would really be a great credit for me.
I think the original one, fair enough, just for the fact that it was the first B&M invert, but like at the fact as well that there's like at least 50 of them in the US or something ridiculous like that. There's just one at every single Six Flags park, and it just sort of gets melded into one because it's the same layout, it's yellow, it's Batman themed. It just...
Well, I did note in my notes actually that this coaster was cloned a total of 5 times across 5 different Six Flags parks. Don't ask me to recite which ones it was cloned at. But in my opinion, if that doesn't scream a brilliant coaster, I don't know what does.
I don't believe that figure of 5. I think it's like at least like 1,000.
There's one at Alton Towers even, next to Nemesis. There's also one at Thorpe Park. Well, it might as well as be Batman the Ride.
Next time we go to Thorpe Park, we'll be going. Oh, it's not Nemesis Inferno. It's Batman the Ride. UK edition.
At number 6 on my list, we have another B&M inverted roller coaster. This is Black Mamba at Phantasialand. This opened in 2006, and in my opinion, it's a bit of a spiritual successor to Nemesis in terms of its terrain hugging and the structures that are built up around it, and even the shrubbery that's built up around this roller coaster. I really think when we do get to go out to Phantasialand, hopefully sometime this year, it's going to be a really special one for me to ride.
And it'll be interesting to see where you put Taran on this list. If Taran is even on this list, like, because to me,
I'm not saying anything yet.
Well, to me, Taran is the one to go for at Phantasialand. Like, Black Mamba looks great, yeah, and it's a B&M invert, and you know, it's, as I agree with you, almost a successor to Nemesis, but Taran is just incredible.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, as well, like Fly's recently opened up at Phantasialand as well, which I'm pretty sure will be on the same level as Black Mamba when we do get out there. But for what it is, I really do think that Black Mamba is going to be a brilliant ride experience when we eventually, this year, do get out to Phantasialand.
Spoilers.
At number 5 on my list, we have King Dakar. This is an Intamin hydraulic launch coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is currently the world's tallest roller coaster, and no doubt a little bit of poo is going to come out when I get to ride this.
Just a little bit. You're going to start turtling a bit.
I mean, you saw how I was before I eventually got to go on the big one. It's going to be absolutely insane. It's a highly regarded roller coaster when it's operational, because this does have a lot of downtime apparently. And the operations also aren't great across the Six Flags park. So when we do get out there to go on this roller coaster, whether we'll actually get on it is another topic for discussion. Not this in the Six Flags.
It's because they decided to strap to like 3 drop towers to its framework, so the coaster and the drop towers can't go at the same time. So they have to like sync it up, and that sometimes messes with the throughput. In
my opinion, that was a bad move. I wouldn't have strapped anything to the side of this. Yes, it's cool having these drop towers on the sides of this on the world's tallest roller coaster, but from an operational standpoint, it doesn't make sense. I only feel like they did it for like the wow factor of it, if that makes sense.
Well, it's tallest drop towers in the world as well. So
the reason I want to ride this roller coaster is because of the acceleration and how quickly you're going up that over 400 foot tower. It's just going to be insane. It's honestly like a once in a lifetime coaster just because of that acceleration. I mean, again, it's very highly regarded, and doing this top 10 was really hard. Doing the top 5 was even harder, because these roller coasters, for me anyway, change all the time depending on whether I see like a POV of one. I might prefer one to another, if that makes sense.
Well, we also hope to get out to Cedar Point, where there's a King Dakar younger brother. So
yes, Top Thrill Dragster. Right, so at number 4 on my list, we have Helix at Liseberg in Sweden. This is Icon's bigger brother, and it really is something special. I've seen so many off-ride shots of this and so many on-ride POVs. It's honestly, every time I look at like a video of this roller coaster, it just pushes up that hype just that little bit more.
It's incredible, genuinely. Like, I think our big struggle this year is, where do we go first? There's Energylandia, there's Liseberg, there's Phantasialand, and I think the big draw to Liseberg is just Helix, because we love Icon so much, and Icon but better and on a hill. Can't go wrong.
Honestly, I feel like Helix for me might rank a bit higher than Taran when I eventually get on it, but I want to compare the two when I do go to both of these parks, because they are both phenomenal roller coasters. But I honestly feel like Helix is going to rank higher than Taran for me personally. But that's just my opinion. It's just a location-less roller coaster as well. It's built onto the side of a massive hill, and it's, you know, it really interacts with that landscape perfectly.
It's yeah, it's basically battle of Mac versus Intamin. Which one do you prefer? Because they're both incredibly themed, incredibly sort of location-wise, fantastic, everything like that. But Helix also has the exact same trains as Icon, but green.
Yes, it does. It does. Which means that they can be upgraded to those new spinny chairs.
Ooh, spinny chairs. Gotta love spinny chairs.
Right, so at number 3 on my list, we have Taran at Phantasialand. This is a masterclass in theming. The area around it, Klugheim, seems absolutely amazing. Like, I am genuinely ecstatic to get out of this roller coaster. Just Phantasialand in general, you know, they really are the kings of theming. And this roller coaster just reinforces that.
Well, Taran is renowned for being one of the best coasters in the world, just because it's so sort of meandery. It's so sort of like head chopper as you fly through buildings. You know, its two launches are seen as incredibly forceful. If you look at, say, Helix or Icon, they're mainly just sort of like launches to get you going, not necessarily launches to make you feel it. But yeah, Taran's got everything. It's even got the noise. Like, people say you can hear Taran before you walk in the park, because it just sort of makes a hell of a noise as it goes down its launches.
I love roller coasters that have that unique sound to them. Like, Nemesis has its roar, in my opinion anyway. Nemesis has that unique roar. When you walk into the valley, you can hear it. It's intimidating. You know, the big one, as much as I don't like the big one, it has that sound as it's going up the lift hill, like click, 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 click. That's an iconic sound. And when it goes round, it has an iconic sound. You know what I mean? I love roller coasters that have iconic sounds. I really do. I feel like it's not just the sight, it's the sound as well for me on a roller coaster.
I'd agree with that. I think it even comes down to soundtracks and stuff. Like, I think Taran have their soundtrack done by Imascore, but Imascore work a lot with Alton Towers. They did the Wicker Man theme, Galactica theme, I want to say Smiler theme. So they did a lot of sort of like really sort of catchy themes and that sort of thing. So it's soundtracks, everything like that. Even Icon, it's not by Imascore, but still it makes part of the ride, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And again, like, I am really looking forward to getting out to Taran, because it really is a package coaster. It was really hard for me to rank Helix and Taran. Like, I didn't know which one I wanted to put above the other. Again, it's the battle between Intamin and Mac. And I will be making a video about this soon, actually, about Intamin and Mac. And how, in my opinion, Mac are really starting to push the bar in regards to quality, and how they really are biting at the tail of Intamin in that regard as well. But again, it was really hard ranking these two on this list, and I'm really looking forward to getting out to Taran when I do eventually get to do that, probably later this year. Right, so at number 2 on my list, we have Zorra at Energylandia. This is a roller coaster that only Energylandia could have pumped out, in all honesty. It is so, I mean, just look at off-ride off-ride footage of it, and on-ride POVs, it just looks insane.
Yeah, it's Energylandia, I think the biggest surprise in recent years when it comes to theme parks, because every year they're just pumping out something that's ridiculous and over the top and, you know, world-class coasters. Like, they brought out Hyperion. The next year there's an entire RMC that appears. So, and, you know, people say it's one of the best RMCs out there.
I am really looking forward to getting this one. It'll probably be my first RMC, unless we do get out to Wildfire first, which I doubt. It'll probably be Energylandia before Wildfire. But I am, again, genuinely looking forward to getting out to Energylandia, and we are probably going to bolt towards Zorra, like we did with Icon the first time we went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
I think we're going to be a bit spoilt for choice. Getting Zorra as the first RMC, every single RMC, apart from maybe one that I can think of, is going to be. It's good, but it's not Zorra.
It's good, but it's not Zorra. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I honestly feel like if Thorpe Park got something like Zorra, it would genuinely put the UK back on the map. Right, so in my number 1 spot, we have Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. This is a RMC iBox, and man, I don't think it needs any explanation. But it's packed full of airtime, it's packed full of surprises, and it has inversions in the right places.
It's an incredible coaster. I'd agree with you that it's on the top of the bucket list. It's the one that everyone wants, the one that every single person that has ridden it is in the number 1 spot. It's got way too much airtime, if too much airtime is possible. But it's an incredible coaster.
It just shows that you don't need the most inversions in the world. It just shows you don't need to be the highest or even the fastest. You just need to have a good layout, basically.
Yeah, I'd agree. Even though, Cedar Point would disagree with you because they claimed that Steel Vengeance broke like 30 records when it was announced. It was like the tallest ever hybrid. It was the fastest ever hybrid. It was the most airtime on any hybrid. It was the most inversions on any hybrid. It was, Cedar Point is Cedar Point. They'll continue to do that every time they announce a coaster.
Yeah, and I feel like that is just the mentality of theme parks in general as well. They want to have the most inversions, tallest roller coaster and things like that, when really it's not that important. At the end of the day, if your coaster is good, it's going to end up on bucket lists like mine.
I think Steel Vengeance will end up on everyone's bucket list. I don't think we could even test this. Walk around Alton Towers, every single person you see in a theme park t-shirt, go, you want to ride Steel Vengeance? Yeah, you definitely want to ride Steel Vengeance.
But again, it does sit at my number 1 bucket list roller coaster.
I'm really quite surprised there's no Gigas in here in this list, Ryan. I was expecting Fury 325 in there.
Yeah, and it probably is in my top 15 roller coasters, bucket list roller coasters, but unfortunately didn't make it into the top 10. It's 325 feet in the air, which already means that it's very, very, very high. And I don't do well with heights as it is. But I have heard that B&M makes some amazing gigas and some amazing hypers. So, literally industry leading. They are the industry leaders in terms of, gigas and hypers. So I really do feel like it is one to look forward to getting out for, but unfortunately it doesn't make the list for me.
That's fair enough. It's more like I was expecting at least one wooden coaster out of all of the ones that I know you love, because I know we love Wicker Man so much. Like it's in our lists. It's not necessarily the best coaster we've ridden, but I'm a big fan of wooden coasters. It's got to be the Voyage at Holiday Park in America. That's got to be the top wooden one for me.
Oh, I would have to disagree. Woden honestly comes above that for me personally. I think Woden is going to be amazing when we get out to ride it.
Yeah, I'd agree. But, I think the last one for me, in all honesty, is got to be the one-of-a-kind time traveller at Silver Dollar City. We are getting one in Europe soon, but it's still currently the one and only Mack Extreme spinning coaster. So to me, it's a different coaster. It's such a different experience that you'd see, and there's nothing like that in the world at the moment.
Well, the one at Plopsaland, the one that's opening at Plopsaland, the one that's themed to Tomorrowland, those who know me and you, Joe, obviously know that I love music and I love going to festivals, and I've always wanted to go to the Tomorrowland Festival, the electronic music festival, because of the just the show they put on. It's not just a music festival, it's a show full of elaborate theming. The stage is just beautiful, that's the only way to describe it, and I feel like this roller coaster is going to be themed to very much of the same. It's going to be themed to that standard that Tomorrowland is, and I'm more looking forward to getting out to the Mack Extreme spinning coaster at Plopsaland than unfortunately Time Traveller.
Just like Hero. Gotta love Hero.
Right, so that's been my top 10 bucket list roller coasters. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you disagree with me or you want to give me your own top 10 bucket list roller coasters, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you have liked this video, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video. I've been Ryan from iCoaster, that's been Oakley Dokley, and we shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.